The lure of felt experience. If we were to consider computers in isolation, we would find machines that make judgments about the shock event based on the existence of brutal fact. Computers are positivistic machines, after all. They are designed by logicians to learn to mimic. However, a shock event and the ensuing aesthetic facts that spread through panic and rumor will frustrate the judgments of the automated fact-checker, the machine learning algorithm. The aesthetic fact will always fill the data void. It will open up the potential for the kind of political madness that strategically dismisses objective reality. Indeed, taken as deeply entangled, not an analogy. This deep entanglement of brains, bodies, and computers does not coincide in a world of brutal fact or over-representation. It feels the intensity of the experience of aesthetic facts. Whitehead's notion of the luring of feeling clearly implicates individual, attentional, cognitive processes, but the deep entanglement of brains, bodies, and computers does not have a cognitive consciousness. The lure of experience is not unintentionally becoming orientated towards the shock event as it occurs. On the contrary, the real intensity of the shock event, the feeling of its importance, becomes a collective impulse that precedes cognition and lures feeling toward the event. In this sense, the speculative philosophy does more than simply overcome the impasse produced by judgments that are discerned by brutal fact or representation. In contrast, it grasps how the deep entanglement of brains, bodies, and computers making judgments based on just how important an event is according to feeling the intensity of the experience. Whitehead asks us, therefore, to judge the increases or decreases of the experience of the event according to what he refers to as this lure of feeling. It is this lure of the event that captures or clasps the intensity of feeling. Importantly, then, the event imposes or draws in feelings towards its encounter. Indeed, feelings are not simply of the anthropological or animal order of experience. They are cosmological forces. They are forces of auto-affection, that is to say, the process by which experience experiences itself. Along these lines, the lure to feeling is grasped by Clough through a mode of experiencing beyond human consciousness, perception, and cognition. This is a speculative interest in the realness of experience beyond the presumption of a primordial rapport between humans and the world, and beyond human knowing. It is important to point out that the lure itself is not, as one might expect, considered by Whitehead to be a mode of trickery. As Didier Debase argues, in Whitehead's vocabulary, a lure certainly does not carry the idea of either an artifice designed to fool someone or an illusion that masks reality. The term is resolutely neutral. A lure entices someone, produces a diversion, modifies the course of an event. There is no criticism. It is simply a matter of seeing propositions as involving capture and grasping. In other words, it is not the lure of the event experience of fake news that fools the experient. Consider fake news as an artifice designed to fool someone, or indeed an illusion that masks reality. We would surely fall back into the impasse of the post-truth thesis. On the contrary, my argument here is that the trickery deployed by fake news and big lie strategies is located in the error we make if we confuse logical experience with being a command post in the movement of propositional events. There is no command post in the whirlpool of a shock event. Certainly in Whiteheadian terms, the aesthetic fact experienced in the lure of the propositional event, with all its possibilities, eclipses true and false judgments. It is the lure of this felt experience that modifies the intensification of the experiences and resonating possibilities of the event itself. The luring of felt experiences is, in part, how an organism makes sense of complex potentialities proposed to her in the relentless, infinite process in which events are encountered. As Whitehead puts it, we are in the present. The present is always shifting. It is derived from the past. It is the shaping of the future. It is the passing into the future. This is process. If our experience of this process is not a command post, then it is perhaps, as Isabel Stengers argues, a mere foothold in the event. It is as such in the felt experiences of the resonating possibilities of the Ashok event, where logical judgments are confounded and made prone to potential deception. This is process. We are in the present. The present is always shifting. It is derived from the past. It is shaping the future. It is passing into the future. This is process.